Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really taking a deep dive into the world of AI. We're using the document you sent over titled Simplifying Common Artificial Intelligence Terms. And, well, it seems like you're looking to get a good, solid understanding of these core concepts without getting bogged down in all the technical jargon.
Yeah, it's a great place to start because, AI can feel incredibly complex at first glance, but the foundational ideas you'll see, they're actually surprisingly straightforward once you break them down.
Exactly. So let's just jump right in. The document kind of kicks off with machine learning, which they actually explain pretty cleverly. They say it's like a system that learns from data. Like, think about how you teach a student, using different examples.
It's a really powerful concept, machine learning. I mean, it's the foundation for so many AI applications we use every single day, probably without even realizing it. Basically, what it's doing is it uses data to train algorithms, and then those algorithms make predictions or decisions based on what they've learned.
It's amazing how much of our daily lives are already touched by this technology. Like, when you're shopping online and you see those personalized recommendations, like, oh, you might also like this. Oftentimes that's machine learning algorithms, analyzing what you've browsed before, what you've bought in the past.
Exactly. It's all about recognizing those patterns and then using that information to, predict what you might be interested in next. Think about how streaming services like Netflix suggest movies or shows, based on your viewing history. That's machine learning at work, too.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Now, the document then moves on to deep learning. And this is where things get even more interesting, I'd say. It describes deep learning as being kind of similar to the human brain with its network of neurons.
Right. This is where AI really starts to feel almost futuristic, I guess. But the document, it does a good job of breaking it down in a way that anyone can understand. Like, you don't need to be, a computer scientist to get it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So, would you say that deep learning is kind of like a more advanced form of machine learning?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. It's basically a subset of machine learning, but it uses these artificial neural networks to sort through, like, massive amounts of data. And the way these networks are structured is it's inspired by the human brain, right? So that allows them to process information in a really sophisticated way.
Like, take facial recognition, for example.
Yeah.
The technology we use to unlock our phones, that's powered by deep learning algorithms, right?
Exactly. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. These algorithms can recognize and interpret all our unique facial features, like, instantly.
It's mind-blowing, and it's, a testament to how far we've come in terms of mimicking the complexity of the human brain, even if it's still in a simplified form.
Right, and that's opened up so many possibilities, especially in areas like, computer vision.
Speaking of computer vision, the document uses the example of self-driving cars to illustrate how AI can process all that, complex visual information, just like our own eyes do, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, computer vision is basically about enabling machines to see and interpret visual data. In the case of self-driving cars, the computer vision algorithms, they're constantly analyzing road conditions, detecting obstacles, and making those real-time decisions to navigate safely. It's like giving machines, the gift of sight.
The potential applications of computer vision are just, like, mind-boggling. The document also mentions its role in healthcare. Like, imagine AI detecting tumors in medical images.
Exactly. I mean, by analyzing, scans and images, these AI-powered computer vision systems can, like, assist doctors in making more accurate and, more importantly, timely diagnoses, which can be, absolutely life-saving in many cases.
Now, the document also talks about neural networks, and it compares them to these digital neurons, sending signals back and forth, just like the neurons in our brains.
Right. I mean, neural networks are like the backbone of a lot of these AI breakthroughs. They're designed to learn patterns and, relationships and data. And that's what allows AI to do things like speech recognition or natural language processing, all that stuff.
It's incredible how AI can understand and process human language. It's like, magic almost. Like, think about speech-to-text apps or virtual assistants like Siri and Alexa. They all rely on neural networks to figure out what we're saying and then respond accordingly.
You're absolutely right. And this actually leads us to natural language processing, or NLP as it's often called. And that's basically about teaching computers to understand all the nuances of human language, just like we do.
Like It's like AI is learning a new language, right? And not just understanding the words themselves, but also like the context and the intent behind those words. I mean, that's what's really fascinating to me, especially when you see how NLP is like revolutionizing how we interact with technology.
Exactly. NLP is not just about, understanding words anymore. It's about figuring out the meaning, the emotions behind those words. And that's what allows us to, have more natural and intuitive conversations with machines, which, I mean, that has huge implications for pretty much everything, from customer service to education, you name it.
Okay, so we've covered machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, neural networks, and natural language processing. What's next?
Well, the document also touches on a couple of other AI concepts like generative AI and reinforcement learning, but maybe we can, save those for later.
Sounds good. I'm definitely curious to learn more about those. So, in part one, we kind of laid the groundwork. We talked about some of those, essential AI terms. But now I'm thinking, like, let's shift gears a little bit. How about we explore how these concepts are actually being, applied in the real world?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see how AI is no longer just this, futuristic concept. It's really shaping our present, It's influencing so many different industries already.
Absolutely. And one area where I feel like AI is making a really big impact is healthcare. I mean, we touched on it briefly before, like how AI can help analyze medical images, but, it goes way beyond that, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, AI is being used to, analyze medical scans, predict patient outcomes, even assist in surgery. It's really paving the way for, a future where healthcare is more precise, more personalized, and potentially even preventative.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about those, AI-powered diagnostics. It's fascinating. Like, I recently came across an article about an AI system that can, diagnose certain skin cancers with a higher accuracy rate than dermatologists even.
Right, and that's a perfect example of how AI can, work with human experts, not necessarily replace them, but, augment their expertise. And that could lead to, earlier and more effective treatment.
It's like having this, super intelligent assistant, working alongside the doctors, analyzing all this data and providing insights that maybe, a human might miss.
Exactly. And beyond diagnostics, AI is also, making big waves in, drug discovery and development. Imagine AI algorithms sifting through these huge data sets of, molecular structures just to identify potential drug candidates that could, significantly speed up the process of, bringing new treatments to patients.
It's mind-blowing to think about how AI could, revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry, leading to breakthroughs in treating diseases that right now we don't have great options for.
Yeah, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and, the implications for, human health are huge. But AI's influence isn't limited to healthcare. It's also transforming industries like, finance and transportation.
Yeah, let's talk about finance for a minute. I've heard a lot about how AI is being used to, detect fraud, assess credit risk, even manage investments.
Right. AI is great at analyzing, tons of financial data in real time, which makes it a really valuable tool for, the financial sector. For example, AI algorithms can, monitor transactions and look for suspicious patterns so they can, flag potential fraud before it, causes any real damage.
Yeah, that's super important these days, especially with, financial fraud becoming more and more sophisticated.
Yeah.
And what about, those robo-advisors? I've heard about those. They use algorithms to create personalized investment portfolios.
Oh, yeah. Robo-advisors are a great example of how AI is, democratizing access to financial services. They use these algorithms to analyze your financial goals, your risk tolerance, and market conditions, and then recommend, investment strategies tailored to you.
It's like having a personal financial advisor, but, without those, crazy fees that you usually have to pay.
Exactly. It's making financial advice, more accessible and more affordable for pretty much everyone. And while we're on the topic of accessibility, let's not forget about transportation.
Right. We talked about, self-driving cars earlier, but I'm curious to hear more about, how that technology is actually evolving and what it could mean for the future of, how we get around.
Yeah, self-driving cars are definitely not science fiction anymore. They're becoming a reality pretty quickly. I mean, all these companies are investing a lot in developing autonomous vehicles, and you see more and more, self-driving cars on the roads now, even if it's mostly in controlled testing environments for now.
I can't wait until they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game changer, make transportation safer, more efficient, and probably even, more enjoyable. Imagine being able to just relax in your car, read a book, catch up on work, instead of having to focus on driving.
Yeah, it's exciting to think about. And it's not just about personal transportation either. AI is also, transforming public transportation systems. Like AI algorithms can help optimize traffic flow, reduce congestion and just make the whole system more efficient overall.
It sounds like AI could be like the key to creating, smarter and more sustainable cities, right?
Mm.
And speaking of, creativity and stuff, I keep thinking about how AI is playing a bigger and bigger role in the entertainment industry.
Oh, yeah. AI is definitely making its mark on entertainment. It's being used to, personalize recommendations on streaming platforms, create special effects in movies, even compose music. It's pretty amazing what AI can do creatively.
Yeah, I've seen some of that AI-generated artwork and music. It's pretty incredible. Like, it's really blurring the lines between, human creativity and machine creativity. It makes you kind of rethink what it even means to be creative.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing to think about. And as AI keeps evolving, I think we're only going to see, more and more innovative uses of it in the arts and entertainment.
Now, with all these advancements, we also have to, think about the potential downsides. I mean, we've been talking about all the good stuff, but it's important to, acknowledge the potential concerns too, right?
Oh, absolutely. With any powerful technology, there are always going to be, both opportunities and challenges. And it's important to, approach AI with a balanced perspective.
One of the biggest concerns I keep hearing about is, job displacement.
Mm.
Like, as AI becomes more sophisticated, it's probably going to automate a lot of tasks that right now humans are doing.
Mm.
And that could lead to, people losing their jobs in certain sectors, which could have a ripple effect on the whole economy.
Yeah, that's a legitimate concern for sure. And it's something that, policymakers, industry leaders, and really society as a whole need to, address head on. It's not about stopping progress, but about figuring out how to adapt to this changing landscape and make sure that, everyone benefits from the AI revolution.
Yeah, I agree. It's about creating new opportunities, retraining workforces, making sure that we're preparing people for the jobs of the future. And, ultimately fostering a future where humans and AI can, coexist and work together.
Exactly. And beyond job displacement, there's also the potential for, AI being misused. As AI becomes more powerful, it's really important to make sure that it's being used ethically and responsibly.
For sure. We have to be mindful of, the potential for AI to be used for, malicious purposes, like surveillance or manipulation or even, warfare. It's super important to put those safeguards in place, those ethical guidelines to prevent these kinds of negative outcomes.
Couldn't agree more. The development and deployment of AI need to be guided by, those ethical principles. We have to prioritize human well-being, fairness, transparency, accountability, all of that.
It feels like we're kind of, navigating uncharted territory here with AI. We're still figuring out how to, harness its power for good while also, minimizing the risks.
Yeah, it's a journey for sure. It's all about exploration and learning. And it's going to take a collaborative effort. Researchers, policymakers, industry leaders, the public, everyone needs to be involved. We need to have these open and honest conversations about AI and, work together to shape how it evolves in a way that benefits, all of humanity.
Well said. It's clear that understanding AI isn't just some niche interest anymore, right? It's becoming essential for everyone, no matter what you do, what your background is.
Absolutely. The more we understand about AI, what it can do, what the implications are, the better equipped we are to, participate in these important conversations and actually contribute to shaping the future of AI.
Now, before we move on to the final part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to circle back to something we mentioned briefly in the first part.
Yeah.
That was a difference between artificial narrow intelligence, ANI, and artificial general intelligence, AGI.
Oh, yeah. That's an important distinction to keep in mind. As we discussed, AI is about those AI systems that are designed to be really good at specific tasks, whereas AGI, that's more about, a more generalized form of intelligence, capable of doing any intellectual task that a human can.
So, ANI is a specialist, and AGI is more of a, what's the word, a polymath.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And while ANI is what we're working with now, AGI is still pretty much, theoretical. We've come a long way with AI. But we're not quite at the point where we can create machines that, can rival the full cognitive abilities of humans.
So AGI is still a ways off, but the progress we're making with ANI is already having a huge impact.
For sure. AI is transforming industries, automating tasks, and creating, new possibilities we couldn't have even imagined just a few years ago. And as AI keeps evolving, it's important to, stay informed and keep those conversations going.
Speaking of implications, I think in the final part of our deep dive, we should, really delve into some of the potential benefits and concerns surrounding AI, leave everyone with some, food for thought as they continue their own AI journey. Okay, so we spent the last two parts, really digging into AI. We've defined those key terms and looked at how AI is already changing things up in different industries.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking it's time to kind of, look ahead. What's next for AI? What are the potential benefits? But also, what are some of those, concerns that come with this kind of powerful technology?
Right, and the document, it doesn't shy away from those tougher questions. It actually talks about the potential impact AI could have on, society as a whole.
And I think that's really important, to approach this with a balanced view. I mean, AI has the potential to revolutionize so many aspects of our lives, from healthcare to education, transportation, you name it. But we can't ignore those potential challenges either.
So maybe we can start with the potential benefits. What are some of the areas where you think AI could really make a positive difference?
Well, healthcare is definitely, top of mind for me. We've talked about AI and diagnostics, image analysis, all that. But it goes even further. Imagine AI helping with, personalized treatments, speeding up drug discovery. It could really help us live longer, healthier lives.
Yeah, that's exciting to think about. And it's not just about, individual health. AI could also help us tackle those big global challenges like climate change.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, AI is amazing at, processing huge amounts of data. So we could use that to analyze climate patterns, predict natural disasters, even develop better energy solutions.
So AI could actually help us, make better decisions about how we manage the planet. That's pretty amazing.
Right. And, even beyond those big picture things, AI can also make our everyday lives easier and, more enjoyable.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, think about education. AI-powered learning platforms could, be personalized to each student's needs, offer different learning paths, make education more engaging and effective.
Having a personal tutor for every student. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But okay, let's talk about, some of those concerns. What about job displacement? I think that's a big one for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a valid concern. As AI systems get, more and more capable, they're going to be able to automate some jobs that right now humans are doing. So we need to acknowledge that and start preparing for it.
Right. It's not about, being afraid of AI. It's about understanding how to adapt. Maybe we need to focus more on retraining people, giving them the skills they need to succeed in this AI-powered world.
Absolutely. It's about finding those areas where, human ingenuity and creativity are still essential, and figuring out how we can, work with AI, collaborate with it, not just be replaced by it.
Okay, so we need to adapt and, kind of rethink how we work. What else? What other concerns are there?
Well, there's also the issue of AI being misused, right? It's a powerful technology, so we have to make sure it's developed ethically and responsibly.
Yeah, that makes sense. We need to make sure AI is used for, good and not for harmful purposes. I've heard people talk about, AI being used for surveillance or manipulation or even in warfare. That's scary stuff.
Exactly. So it's crucial that we establish, clear ethical guidelines and safeguards. We have to prevent AI from being used in ways that could harm people or, society as a whole.
So it's we're kind of in this uncharted territory with AI. We're still trying to figure out how to harness all that power while also minimizing those risks.
Exactly. And it's going to take all of us, researchers, policymakers, industry leaders, the public, to figure this out. It's a journey. We have to have those open, honest conversations and work together to, shape the future of AI in a positive way.
Well said. And it's clear that, understanding AI, it's not just for tech experts anymore.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more important for everyone.
Absolutely. The more we understand about AI, its potential and its risks, the better prepared we are to have those crucial conversations and, help shape the future of this pretty transformative technology.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. I mean, we've gone from, defining those basic AI terms to talking about the big picture implications of this technology.
Right. And hopefully, this has given everyone listening a better understanding of what AI is all about, how it works, and what we need to be thinking about as it keeps evolving.
Exactly. It's a complex topic, but, it's also incredibly fascinating. And the more we learn, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this, this exciting but also, potentially challenging future with AI.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So that's it for this deep dive into AI. We hope you found it insightful and maybe even, a little inspiring. Thanks for joining us.